Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing today? Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Nation. How y'all doing? We definitely have a special guest in the house. In case some people didn't catch him the first time he was here, we have Mr. Terance Mathis. How you doing today,
I'm
Terance?
doing great. Second time back. This is my second time here.
That's
I'm ready to
right.
go work. Let's go. Let's go fast and furious. Let's go.
Yes, let's go. Then we got Matt Mike coming in here. Hopefully he is set up to go. What's up, Mike? We live.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
All right.
Perfect.
Satan just don't want me to be good today. But I rebuke you. I rebuke you, Satan.
But you here now. Hey, Asia.
I like it.
Today is a Q&A, people, so we need all the questions you got today. Drop them in the chat right now, but we just definitely going to start it off. Yes, T-Mac is back, people. He is back. What's up, Reggie?
Yeah.
How you doing? So let's go ahead and get into the first portion of our topic, and that is Washington really wants a quarterback. And as we've been seeing, the Falcons have been getting several calls from several teams, getting that hot ticket we got right about now at that fourth spot. So just kind of get into that a little bit. What you think? You think, the Falcons going to go with the best offer, wait to the draft? What are your opinions about that?
I think they're going to wait to the best offer. I really don't think they want to give up that pick. Because it's a pick that can help them right away. There's some players out there that in the immediate can come and help them right away. But if the offer is right, if there's a first round, second round, and a third rounder involved in that fourth pick, you're going to have to listen. You're going to have to listen because at the end of the day, as you said, not only does the Washington football team is looking for a quarterback, maybe the Denver Broncos and New England Patriots. So you got some teams out there, even the Chicago Bears. I don't think they're too set on who their quarterback is going to be in the future. So you have some options out there. And then it's just last week or week and a half ago, it came out that the Falcons are finally starting to listen to offers. I think they've been listening to offers all along, and I think it's just one of those things that it leaked out. This new regime has been very good at keeping a tight-knit lip on everything that they're doing, and that's kudos to them.
Oh, absolutely. Someone said if it's not Pitts, we don't want it. What is that comment?
Not
Everybody
Pitts.
been wanting Pitts or picks. That's what they're saying. Pitts or picks at 4.
Right.
So some people think.
You know what? This is the thing is you got to look towards the future. In that number 4 pick, if you pick a Pitts, if you pick a quarterback, if you pick an edge rusher, that money is gonna be. You think you in the salary cap problems right now? You're gonna be in a salary cap situation in the next 3 years.
I knew you was going there. I knew you was going there.
If you look at this roster in the next 3 years, your superstars may be gone. So you better open that cupboard and start restacking. So how do you do that? You get out of the first round and you get another number 2, maybe 2 or 3 number 3s and 2 number 4s. So now you may pick up 12 picks from getting out of the first round, where now instead of having 9 picks, you have maybe 21 picks in the draft, and now you're ready to build for the next 3 to 5 years.
I think that's the best option. I honestly believe that as well. That's what we've been pitching for but like you said, it's been smoke and mirrors lately, so we really don't know what this team is going to be doing. And let's kind of get into a little bit of that controversy that's been going around, and just a little bit about that pick as well, where Smith and Terry are allegedly at odds right about now about that. Right. One wants a quarterback, one doesn't. Right. So,
well, that's the thing. You're gonna have that. At the end of the day, the head coach has to coach them. And so I think in an organization you got to come to some kind of compromise. And maybe this year you give the head coach what he wants. The next year the GM gets what he wants. But at the end of the day, let's talk about that fourth pick in a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If you pick a quarterback in number 4 and say, let's sit him for 2 years, that's dead money that's not planned for you for 2 years. Why would you do that? Now, I guarantee you, in the next 2-3 years, there's going to be a quarterback sitting there, maybe 3, 4, or 5 of them sitting there that we can go get.
The guy at the University of Georgia, when they looking at him like he's going to be the next big thing, it's a guy like Brock at Georgia. It's so many guys.
DJU at Clemson.
Yes.
Now, understand this. On my show last week, Bob Whitfield was on there, former offensive lineman with the Atlanta Falcons. We talked about
I heard about that.
We talked about the 4th pick, and I said, Bob, don't say offensive lineman. And he said,
I knew.
And then when he explained to me why offensive lineman, it made sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
It said if you draft the offensive lineman and you're going to keep Matt Ryan, you need some help to protect him. Right. Now, in 2 years, 3 years from now, if Matt Ryan is gone and you bring in another quarterback, you have already solidified your offensive line for the next 3 years, where now when he comes in, he's surrounded by a great nucleus and he can be successful. So I said, okay, that makes sense. So now I'm back to, who do we pick?
You don't know.
Yes, we don't know.
We have this thing here, and Kevin, he's still right now, but we say this all the time. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
You got to build for the future, because these guys have been together for a long time, and some of these contracts are going to be up in the next couple of years, and some of these guys are going to retire in the next few years. So you better start replacing them now and not swing for the fences. Not this year. Don't swing for the fences this year. We got chances to get on base, stack it, and then bases loaded. Let's hit a grand slam in 2-3 years from now.
Oh, absolutely. Because people don't realize, for one thing, that we just have a whole new coaching staff. So it's going to take even us a couple of years to even get into the offense and the defense, etc. So it's going to take us a couple of years to even get that built. Right. So let's not, buy the farm and spend too much money on just one player. Definitely. Go ahead, Mike.
And the question that I have for you, and I'm glad you brought that up, Maggie, is because this is something that I want to get from a player standpoint. We're talking about a new regime, a new coaching staff. We're talking about not only Arthur Smith, but we're talking about Dean Pease. Mm-hmm. From a player standpoint, when you have a new staff coming in, even in like your situation where you was coming from New York and you brought in, you was brought in as a free agent, and it was a new team. How long does it take, or does it matter as far as like the players and how a player kind of pick up the offense? How long does it typically take for a player to pick up an offense or install an offense?
Well, if you're a veteran guy, it doesn't take you long at all, because mostly everything is pretty much the same. It's just the terminology that changes a little bit. And then if you can retain what you've learned through your years of football, all the way from high school through college to the NFL, you're going to find some similarities, and you just got to get the verbiage right. And for a young guy, it's kind of difficult because there is a lot of verbiage. And there's a lot of things that you got to make sure you're listening to. It's not like you break the huddle and say, twins right 94 on one. It could be twins right jet, something. And then for you, it could be the last word. So if you leave the huddle too soon, you leave the huddle too soon, because he may call in the huddle, and you got to listen to it and know it. So for a young guy, it takes him a minute. For a quarterback, it depends on, it takes some time. But what happens is if you are a franchise type quarterback, what happen is the offensive coordinator will build that offense around you where you can understand it and make it easier for you. So, back to, the Arthur Smith thing and wanting a quarterback. You know, I can kind of understand that. Let me tell you why. Because when you come into a new organization as a new coach, you want to build on your terms, and you want to have a guy next to you that said, "That's my guy," and I can tutor him and mentor him the way I want him to be. Because you know, in my mindset, I'm thinking when they made that hire, how you going to tell your former MVP, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, who's been in the league longer than you have, who's pretty much older than you, that I want you to do it this way because I know it works. Huh?
Right.
So there's going to have to be a lot of trust between Arthur and Matt Ryan. So right away, they got to go play golf, have dinner, have the kids over, all this stuff. They're going to have to do something to understand each other and to be able to work together.
Well, I could definitely feel that Matt is a team player, because I definitely hear when he's, you know, the off season, when it started to get to player practice and things like that, Matt be the first one in the door. From what I hear, he's the first one in the door. He hold these meetings, you know, so he definitely know his, you know, he's getting older, so he has to perform, because right now it's, you know, it's a gamble with Matt right about now.
Well, definitely. Here's the guy. Understand this. Understand the pressure he was in when he got drafted. He's taking over for a legend, Michael Vick. And he did something Vick didn't do. He took it to a Super Bowl. You know, and he became, you know, he was the MVP of the league. So you got to understand this. So the pressure he was under when he got drafted and he performed, now he's under another pressure of performing to keep his job or whatsoever. And he worked his tail off to be as good as he is now. He could have just been average, and because we know he's not average, because you know, over the last, I think it's something about over the last 5-10 years or something, he's the only quarterback that's thrown over, what was it, 4,000 or 5,000
yards
in the last 10 years. Last 10 years, he was the only one that's done it 10 years in a row. So come on, guys, it ain't the quarterback problem, man. Come on. It's not the quarterback problem. Think about this. This dude had 3-4 different coordinators over the last 6 years.
How difficult is that?
That's so difficult, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're going back to saying, well, I don't care if you, Joe Montana, if you going back and say, well, I was successful doing this, now you're taking that away from me, and now I got to do something else. So if you keep doing that to a guy, he's gonna start slow for you, and then when you have your weapons, from running backs to tight ends to receivers that stay hurt, what do you want him to do? And then he's playing with guys who are journeymen, or guys that are that's 3rd, 4th, 5th on the depth chart. So, and they play well for him, and he still does well. So come on, we just need Julio to stay well the whole season, and Ridley be fine, and Gage will be fine, and Hurst will be fine, and Davis, the running back, will be fine, and then we'll go get a running back in the 2nd round, and we'll be fine. Right. And if we go get Pitts, I'm fine with that too. You know, at the end of the day, I'm fine with that.
Bob Whitford, actually, he said something else that I thought was interesting, and it got me thinking. And a lot of people know where I stand, where as far as the quarterback is concerned. I think you know where I'm going. He pretty much said, if the Falcons were to draft Fields, it would pretty much be for ticket sales. Do you think Arthur Blank, is this the way an owner thinks? We're talking about ticket sales, dude, because we know Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is a guy, he loves money. He loves his money. Okay? Billionaires love money. Do you think this is a real possibility? All right. And it really got me thinking. Like I said, I know owners love money and they don't like to lose money. And coronavirus has been not good for a lot of billionaires. Do you think this is a real possibility? Why are
you? Let me tell you, it's a real possibility because of everything you just said. He's a businessman. You got to understand, he's a businessman that owns a football team. He's not a football guy who owns a football team. He's a businessman. I mean, if he wasn't a businessman, he wouldn't be able to own this football team. So at the end of the day, he needs to look. He wants to win, no doubt about it. But he wants to win and count his money too.
Right. Right.
So then if he ain't winning, he's going, how? Look, I'm not counting my money as often as I like.
Right.
So you know what? If you want to draft a quarterback, if you want to draft Justin Fields, go do it. It's your team. We're going to support you either way. Whatever you want to do, you want to make a big splash, you want to have billboards of Justin Fields and a parade for him. Let's go do it if that's what you want to do. But then you got to think about the possibilities where this team may be in 3 or 4 years.
Right. I have a question from one of the fans that's trying to challenge, and he basically said he watched your show last week, and you were basically saying you'll go with a quarterback 80%. Which one is it for you? And week to week, we make decisions on. You don't know where you want to go with it half the time. Sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. So,
well,
I guess elaborate on that.
At the end of the day, I said, you can go with a quarterback, you can't lose. If I would go quarterback, it would have to be a guy that I know that for a possibility, you're going to sit down for 2 years. Now, you drafted Justin Fields, you're going to want him to play right away. You drafted Trey Lance, who haven't played a lot of football, you're going to say, let's give him because we don't know nothing about him, let's give him a little bit time to sit time at right. If we Mac Jones, let's let him sit. Task, let him sit. But if you go get Justin Fields or that kid out of BYU, which he ain't gonna be there, so don't even think about that. But,
Right.
we don't even know if Justin Fields is gonna be there. We don't know.
Right.
Let me tell you, you may get Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Zach from BYU, and now you going. Who do you want now? You want Trey? Okay. Guess what? Trey gonna have to sit for 2 years, and guess what? That's dead money sitting on the bench for 2 years. What you want to do? And I don't have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, whatever the Falcons do with that 4th pick, they can't go wrong, and it's going to help the organization either way. Now, at the end of the day, whatever they do, as Falcons fans, you got to ride with it.
That's right.
You got to ride with it. You can't just, because of one pick, because of the 4th pick, it didn't go your way. You can't just abandon the ship, because this is still our Dirty Bird Atlanta Falcons team that has the potential to win a division and go on and play for the conference championship. So this one pick ain't going to make or break this team. Yeah, it'll help, but you got to understand.
You got to be smart with it.
Guys are seasoned veterans, and losing Mac hurts, at center. But at the end of the day, this group has been together for a long time, and maybe with Arthur Smith and Fontenot, this is the injection they need to get going again. This B12 shot they need.
And I think that what was it? I think it was. They definitely want to go with the best player available. And what the other comment was is like, it wouldn't make sense to get the 4th quarterback that's available. That's not the best player available.
That's not the best player available at the time. If you going by that logic, the 4th quarterback on the board is not the best player available. Now, there's been rumblings about, they went out to see the quarterback at BYU, and Arthur Smith fell in love with that big 6'6", 300-pound offensive lineman out there that ran a 4.8 40 broad jump 10 and did some wonderful things, and he fell in love with him. So there's a kid at Northwestern that's pretty good. And you look at Sewell, which Sewell, he didn't play last year. So come on. So at the end of the day, the Arthur Smith and Fontenot, Terry Fontenot, going to do what's best for this organization, and whatever they choose, we got to ride with them.
Absolutely. Let me see what we got in some questions. You got a question, Matt?
I got a question. We're talking about as a receiver. I don't care about how you are doing right now as a retired receiver, a former NFL player. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm talking about Terance Mathis in his heyday. All right, Terance Mathis in his day. You are Julio Jones, okay? You're Julio Jones right now. We're talking about a Matt Ryan or a guy like a Justin Fields or, the best quarterback in the draft right now, Trevor Lawrence. Who do you want to play for? We're talking about your style. As far as your style as a receiver, which quarterback do you think it's best for not only you but the team?
That's in the draft right now.
Yes.
Or just on the Falcons roster.
That's in the draft right now. Just
in the draft
one
right now.
guy that you, one guy that you say that's just not like.
For me,
just pick a guy that you say.
Yeah, for me as a receiver, you guys gonna laugh, but as a receiver, I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and Trask or Trask in Florida. Let me tell you why. It's because we as receivers want the quarterback to hit the 3rd, 5th, 7th step and let that ball go because we want catches. And we as receivers have trouble with quarterbacks that scramble a lot, move up in the pocket because we don't know where they are. And what we have to do is we move around a lot and try to get open. And if you think about it, we're running maybe 70, 80, 90 yards worth of play on a scramble drill. And if we're doing this constantly, the whole thing is going to wear us out. It's going to wear us out. And then it's going to limit. And on a selfish note, as you put it, because that was a question of being selfish.
All right. This is about the receiver.
I want catches.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the more catches I have, the more opportunities I get to move the chains and score touchdowns. Oh, yeah. But if I'm not touching the ball, I'm not moving the chains.
And you're not getting your stats, none of that.
We're not doing that. So at the end of the day, football is a team sport, but there's individuals within that team that has to make that team successful. So everybody has a role. So my role is to get open, catch balls, and score touchdowns. And if I'm not doing that, guess what front office is saying? I'm not doing my role.
And you're not doing your role. Guess what? You're gonna be subject for trading.
Yep.
You just took me down a rabbit hole because I got so many questions. Is this the reason why a guy like Andy Reid pretty much took away Patrick Mahomes' his feet? Because he wants him to become a pocket passer. Is that one of the main reasons why, as a quarterback or a coach, that you want your quarterback to be more of a pocket passer for the reasons that you just stated?
Well, you know what? I don't think coaches try to take away the ability of the athletic ability of its quarterback. What he's doing is saying, don't try. Should be your first thought. Your first thought is to read the coverage, find the open man, and deliver the ball. And then the next thought is, if you can't do that, move around a little bit to buy some time to let your receivers get open. Then that third thought is, if that doesn't happen, let's make some positive yards from that. Not backwards. Let's make positive yards. Let's move around to see if you can find somebody open or stand. That's not it. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback, and he can throw the football in a system that allows him to do it. He's in a system that's not allowing him to do it. So that's why you can't get any receivers to go there.
Right.
It's not Lamar Jackson, it's the system.
Right.
Lamar Jackson, no, it's the system that receivers not going to Baltimore because.
I like what Myron said. Arthur Blank wants to win now, and Matt is a win now quarterback. We can draft a quarterback in the later round. We don't have money to throw away on an unproven quarterback at 4.
That's true. I mean, come on, if I'm Denver, if I'm New England, if I'm Chicago, I'm crossing my fingers, hoping.
Oh yeah.
Please, don't do it. Don't do it. But, I keep saying, I get it. If you want to make a big splash and get a quarterback, I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Right.
I will support you with that. But I don't want to be sitting here 3 years from now going, we
Made a
should have,
mistake.
could have, would have.
now we're trying to get out of the first round pick because we can't afford it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we like you said, we set ourselves back. We don't want to go back to having that fourth pick. We want to be contended and, Super Bowl and things like that. So like somebody said, it can set us back depending on who we pick it for.
I want 28 or later for the next 10 years.
Hey man, I love it.
Playing in the NFC Championship every year. Or close to it.
And why not be the year we get 17 games?
Yeah.
We take it all the way. Like, look, see, things changed up. COVID will be the whole success story.
And you know what? It's funny you asked me that question because I knew somebody was going to come back and say, well, you said.
You know what? That's why I said. That's why I brought it up. And I knew you was going to respond to it. They tried.
Whatever you said and it don't work out. Hey, look, I'm no expert. I'm not sitting in the war room with the Falcons. I'm not the one I'm just giving you my thought. And every week it may change because that's my prerogative. Because something may come up. It's just like them. Every week something changes in that war room for the Falcons because someone else calls with another offer and something changes. And or they go out to a pro day and something changes. So every time they move out of that office or get a phone call in that office, something changes. So I got the prerogative to do the same thing.
And even with the narrative of Arthur of Smith and Terry, right now they're back and forth about whether they want a quarterback or not. Like you said, with each offer and each call, they probably like, you know what? This sounds a little intriguing. I think I now want a quarterback because this is what they're offering, or that type of deal. So you don't know.
But think about this, and this is where I don't understand, because you hired your head coach before you hired your GM. So if I'm the head coach, I was the first man in the building. I get the first and the last thing. That's where you go wrong. That's where you go wrong. You got to have a GM, and he has to be in the hiring process to make sure they're on the same page and they got the same philosophies going forward. Because if it's oil and water, come on, man, it's not gonna mix. So at some point, them two gonna have to go play golf together, go on a beach vacation, and go fishing and all that stuff. So they can have a kumbaya by the fire to get to know each other and love on each other and respect each other.
Someone said, "Have y'all talked about Dimitrov's comments?" No, we had to get into that one.
What was his comments?
I after watching it, I kind of took back as far as like my thoughts on it. He was kind of put in a position. You know how the media works. They put you in a position. The question was presented to him that like you have Trey, you have Fields, you have Trey, and I forget the other quarterback. It may have been Wilson, and he suggested he was like, you pick out of those three quarterbacks. It's not like he said, okay, the Falcons, what would you do with the pick? They pretty much he pretty much
set him up.
Set him up for a question where it was like, okay, throw out the trade scenario. These are the quarterbacks that you have to pick from. And he said Justin Fields. And I think you've already, pretty much stated how you feel about Fields for the most part. So, I guess based on that question, those three guys, if you haven't made it clear, you want to make it clear now. Out of those three guys, Zach Wilson, Fields, and Lance, and why would you take those guys? I think we pretty much know. But
well, if it was me, I'd take Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the only one besides, and trust me, and I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna say, "Oh, you're crazy." Trust me, Justin Fields is the only quarterback in this draft, besides Jones in Alabama, has played in big time games and performed at the highest level. You see what I'm saying? This is a guy that is NFL ready. NFL ready right now. Those two guys, from Jones from Alabama and Fields from Ohio State, are NFL ready right now. I'm not saying Trevor is not, because I believe he is. Right. He's going to do well in that system, because he's going to have time to mature because of the new coaching staff and Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer going to make sure he puts him in a position to be successful, like he did through all his quarterbacks, like at Ohio State, that he did at Ohio State. So I think, and then he's in a market where, well, we're going to know now that we'll probably see more Jaguar football this coming season on national TV than we've had before. So, but at the end of the day, he's in a market where he has an opportunity to not be scrutinized by the media and by its fans. So he's in a good situation.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We got what do you think about Jamie Newman?
You know what? I wish he would have played. I wish he would have played. He opted out, and I understand for the COVID situation whatsoever, but a lot of Georgia fans was disappointed, because he was supposed to be that dude this year, and it was national championship hype when he came over. But I think that we haven't heard anything about his pro days. We haven't heard anything about him right now. He could be a sleeper in this draft. I don't think he'll go before the third round. He may go maybe fourth, fifth round, and then he's gonna go somewhere where he's gonna have to sit a couple of years and learn, and he may go somewhere and beat somebody out, beat a veteran out. So we don't know that yet. We haven't seen enough of Jamie Newman to even give him a grade right now.
Right.
Okay.
I like the way he throws. I think he really, at this point, I think he has an NFL arm. I think he has pretty much everything that you need in a quarterback today. Like, the only concern for me is his accuracy between the hashes. Like, that's the only thing I'm concerned.
Down the middle of the field. Yeah.
Right.
I got you.
And another one, we already kind of touched on it, but Kyle Pitts at number 4. If we're not going quarterback, I guess the question will be, if you don't go quarterback, who would you pick?
Oh, look at it. Like, you shake his head, boy. He already know what it is.
Hey, man, this guy, if y'all haven't been following him, this guy has been lobbying for the Falcons to draft.
Yes, he has. Yes,
I'm not going to even say lobbying. He's been campaigning. Bro,
right.
He even said he's like, the Falcons are interested in me.
Pick me at 4. Pick me at 4. Hey, man, let me tell you something. You pick him at 4. Woo. Yeah. And Julio stays healthy. Oh my God, man! You talking about the Vikings of '98 offense? Even though we beat them in the NFC Championship, but that's what kind of offense you're talking about. You're talking about something that haven't been seen in years. If you draft that dude, and now it gives what it does though. It gives your defense a chance to just go out and play, because pretty much every series you're gonna score points. Will have an opportunity to score points, because who you gonna double team? You can't double team. Who you gonna guard? Who's gonna guard him? A linebacker? No. A safety? No. So you gonna bring your fifth corner, or your third corner, or your fourth corner off the bench who haven't played much to cover this guy? Oh no. So hey man, that's why I'm shaking my head.
He's like, oh no.
Dude, I may even go to training camp just to watch. Woo.
Yeah, Matt Ryan gives Kyle Pitts the best chance to succeed.
Yes, he does.
I can agree with that.
I agree. Because he look, come on now. Matt Ryan has been crying since Tony Gonzalez retired.
All right.
You get this guy. this dude may be the MVP again because he gonna play at a different level. Oh my goodness!
Hey, they don't want to hear that. Don't say that, T-Mac.
Goodness!
Don't say that.
And you don't know because there are also some hidden talent on this team that haven't had their opportunity yet. So we don't even know who's still on the roster.
Right, exactly.
That we can build up.
Oh, but understand this: I'm an offensive guy. I'm an offensive coordinator by trade. So yeah, Julio Jones. Okay, you got Hurst. You got Ridley and Pitts.
Woo!
Come on, man.
That's unfair. That's unfair. Julio is a weapon in itself.
Dude, that's probably a track team that could compete with the Kansas City Chiefs track team right there.
Oh my gosh.
Todd Mullers. What's up with the $9.99 super chat?
$9.99.
Appreciate you guys. Is it possible that the rumor that Terry won at quarterback and Arthur Smith feeling that Ryan has 2 to 3 years left is a way Smith can have a good relationship with Ryan if a quarterback is taken at 4?
Hey man, we never know. Look, it's politics everywhere. He could be setting us up for the okie doke and say,
"Oh yeah,
I didn't draft him."
Right?
But you know what? We're making a lot to do about nothing.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day,
it's just speculation right now.
Because even if I've said this, and a lot of people agree, we draft the quarterback at number 4. If he sits for a couple of years, that's wasted money. Okay, but in a couple of years, you're going to have money. If you look at it, you can have that debate. Well, Julio and Matt Ryan might be gone in 2 or 3 years.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that just sealed the deal for them for, especially with Matt. It just kind of cushioned us a little bit, but you never know what's going to happen next couple of years with them.
So that's the thing. So, but yeah, it turned out well for Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I get it. It even turned out well for Brett Favre. He was here in Atlanta, and they traded him to Green Bay. He sat on the bench. Majkowski got hurt. He came in, and that was the end of it. So you never know. Drew Bledsoe was in New England. He gets hurt. Tom Brady comes in. The legend is built. So you never know. Look, Steve Young was sitting behind Joe Montana. Joe Montana gets traded. Steve Young comes in. He's a Hall of Famer. So you never know. But at the end of the day, I can't go wrong, man. Look, okay, I see he's got this Denver at 9, Dallas at 10, New England at 15. The only way I trade number 4 with Denver, you got to give me Von Miller.
I already know it. Yeah, I knew you was going to say.
You give me Von Miller and that number 9 pick.
Right.
And I still get the 4th pick in the second round. We got to do it.
We got it. Please, incentives. That's what we need. We're not going to just give it up for nothing.
I love you, but I don't love you that much.
I love to be in this position right about now because we can do anything we want right now.
Look, if I'm GM right now, I'm sitting at my desk with my feet up.
Yeah,
and just wait
like what y'all gonna do? Because
wait for draft day. Because right now, honestly, the Falcons have their top 32 guys on the board. They get, and it's by the best available. And then they're going to have a list of quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, O-linemen, so on and so forth, just in case when it's time for them to pick, all those dudes are gone.
Okay? Exactly.
So think about it. They got the 36th pick in the draft. So they gonna still get somebody good, gonna get somebody that's gonna be a difference maker in the second round. So we hanging our hats on this 4th pick, but that second round pick is key. That's key.
And Reggie said we can still get a quarterback in the later rounds.
We sure can. You never know. You never know who's gonna be sitting there, man. There's some. See, we're concentrating on these 4, 5, 6 guys, but there's some other dudes out there. I guarantee you, somebody. What we have about 2 weeks to the draft. Somebody in the next 10 days is gonna pop up, and everybody gonna say, "Whoa, where has he been?
Yeah,
where has he been?" You know.
Yeah, because we didn't have a proper combine. We didn't have, a lot. Everything has been different this year.
Yeah.
Some of these pro days been virtual. So we don't know.
We don't know who's out there. No one's talking. Because they don't know. They don't know. They can't properly evaluate right now. But they got to go with who's the top players. In the draft, they got to go with those. And at the end of the day, they may not be the best players, but that's what is out there of the evaluations that they have.
Someone said,
and you may have a guy who's thinking a lot like Mike Ditka did. Like Mike Ditka falls in love with the player and he decides to trade his entire draft for him. It's like we never know. We never know what to talk about. Yeah.
The Cowboys did the same thing with Herschel Walker.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about it. Yeah.
Hey, is that Millie Mills?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mills.
Come on, man. Sammy. Come on, man. You just going out. You must be from Texas. Come on,
and then the running back. Yeah, I've been talking about him as well.
This is, come on, if y'all haven't heard me say it before, it's three guys that I like. Etienne, Harris, and Patterson from the University of Buffalo. If y'all haven't got a chance, look what he did in, I think it was the 9 games he played. I think he scored double-digit touchdowns in 9 games, 20-something touchdowns in 9 games. He reminds you of the running back at Kansas City. He's loaded back, pretty powerful. Yeah, he's good, man. He's good.
Okay.
And you gotta understand, with a running back at that size, that's 5'8" or so, and you have 6'5", 6'6", 6'8", offensive linemen really get lost in the run game, and you would want somebody like that. But then you have a guy like Najee Harris and Etienne that can come out the backfield. You can line them up at wide receiver and run routes with them. I mean, you can't go wrong with that second round, that 36th pick. I hope one of them is sitting there, man. Good gracious. If that happens, dude, I might even, I'm not going to even lie. I ain't buying no
I like it, man. There's a couple of running backs in there that I like. It's so many running backs that I like in this draft, man. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to go. Like you can't
Eric said, get off the quarterback question. Of course, this is the hottest question there is. But what do you want? Give us some other questions. We asked y'all to give us some questions.
Everything.
We can talk about the defensive ends that's coming out. We can talk about the 2 guys at Penn State. We can talk about the 2 guys at the University of Miami. Come on, I ain't afraid. Come on now. Look,
bring the questions. Bring the questions. It's open for y'all.
And right now, at the end of the day, one of those kids out of the University of Miami, I don't like using the term, but
like Jalen,
they dogs, man. They mean, bro. They mean. Let's go get that. I don't know if they're gonna be sitting there in the second round.
Right.
If they are sitting there at the second round, would I go do it? Yeah, I'll go do it because obviously we're gonna pick offensively. With that 4th pick. So let's go defense with the 2nd pick. Let's go get, so one of the guys at Penn State, one of the guys at Miami. There's some guys out there. Alabama. I mean, come on. There's some dudes out there, man. So we just, this is a draft that is made for the Atlanta Falcons.
A lot of depth.
Number 72 from LSU. Let me tell you, a big force in the middle. He can move the middle. He runs well. He can even play some defensive end. I know who you're talking about. I've seen him play. But at the end of the day, they got Davison that's coming off of that injury that they drafted from Auburn. And then you got Big Grady sitting there. So you really don't need another defensive tackle. But you do need some swing guys, some guys that can go inside and outside. So this is a pick that you can look at that can play both and that can help you. So come on, the Falcons can't go wrong, man.
This is a deep draft. It's just, like you said. I think this is perfect for the Falcons. And one guy that I really, it's kind of get a beat on where exactly does he fit. And the guy you were talking about from a couple of guys from the University of Miami, but one guy that stands out to me is like it's a defensive coordinator's wet dream, and I'm talking about Gregory Rousseau. Like this guy,
I know you're talking about.
Oh my God. That dude is long, man. Dude, it's hard not to fall in love with him.
He can reach through this screen and touch you with his arms.
Right.
I mean, dude, it's guys out there, man. And the thing is this, and I've talked about it before about getting an edge rusher, because at the end of the day, you know, Bob said something on the show last week. He said, he says, you want a guy that can disrupt the quarterback.
Right.
You know, you're going to get your sacks, but he has to be if the quarterback is going to drop back and throw the ball 40 or 50 times, out of those 40 or 50 times, that edge rusher got to disrupt at least 25 of those times. You see what I'm saying? He may not get a sack, but he may cause a sack. You see what I'm saying? And then he's going to have to we talk about edge rushers getting sacks, but he's going to have to play the run too. So you got to find a guy that can do all the things we talk about: sack the quarterback, put pressure, and tackle in the run game. So when you look at a defensive end, he's going to have to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, if he's a good edge rusher, guess what they're going to do? They're going to run the ball right at him to make him make plays in the run game.
And then Ethan the Elk said Thomas Graham Jr. Your thoughts on him?
I don't know much about, and I'm not gonna lie, Ethan. I don't know much about Graham Jr. at all. But what I do, if I'm, you know, when you say slot cornerback, right now, you know, Falcons need a number two guy. They need a number two guy that can shut down on the other side with Terrell. So, you know, the slot corner, if he's a slot corner, he'll get drafted and he'll probably play well, but I don't know where he'll get drafted at, you know.
Right.
You know, I'm playing at Oregon where in a conference where they do throw the ball a lot. And he's going to have, and he's probably very, very good at slot corner because of the offenses that's in that Pac-12 that plays 3 or 4 receivers. So he'll have a chance.
I see a couple of Horn from South Carolina.
You know what? If we want to do that, I'm fine with that too. Because this dude mean, man. This dude is mean. Man. And if he anything like his daddy, he mean.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah. He mean. Oh, yeah. And he's a baller. And he is a baller with confidence. And he's rated very high. He could be on the Falcons board as the first, you know, one of those best available players. I wouldn't be mad at that, because if you're gonna go defense, with that number 4, go get a corner, and then you can go get whatever you want in that 36 pick in the second round.
He's scary. He's one of those DBs that he scares you. If you're a receiver, you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys. You don't know if he's going to hit you. You don't know if he's going to sit on a route. It's like you don't know anything. He's scared.
But the thing is, and then when you catch the ball, he's gonna run through you.
He's gonna run. He's scary, man. That dude is scary.
Run through you.
Javonte Williams, what do you think about him?
Is that the running back out of Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know what? The thing is I don't think he tested well at his pro day, but that's okay. It's okay, because at the end of the day, I want football players. I don't want guys that can just test well. I want football players that can produce. So I can bypass that because of the fact that what I've seen on the football field,
right?
Football. some guys may have a bad day running the 40. May have a bad day jumping. Whatever, it may be a bad day.
It can be nerves. It can be everything because everybody's out there watching you. So
you cannot evaluate or judge a young man on his body of work in one workout, and that's wrong right there. Right. So you tell me a guy who may rush for 1,500 yards and have 20 touchdowns whatsoever, and he goes out and run a 4.840 a pro day, he can't play football.
Mm-hmm.
So that's those measurables kill me, man. Now there's some dudes that got the measurables and that can play, but there's some dudes that got the measurables and can't play, and then there's some that don't have measurables but can play lights out. And you just gotta do your due diligence as a scout, as a coach, as a GM to understand that you can't judge a guy by one day of evaluations. You can't. It got to be the body of work.
So I said 3rd round Tyler Shelvin.
Hey, when you guys give us these names now, tell us where they play.
Y'all giving a lot of names. Y'all going deep in it.
Yeah, y'all going deep. These must be family members. That's cousins. That's their cousin. Right?
I'll say this. I'll say this.
I see a good question right here that we can put up. Go ahead, Mike.
Before we go there,
go ahead.
I don't see the Falcons picking a nose tackle. I don't. Not in the 3rd round. That's too high for a nose tackle for what we already have and the money we have tied up in that position. I don't think they'll go that high with a nose tackle.
Okay. And I like this question. It's a little bit different. Thoughts on how Dean Pease can improve the defense?
Have y'all ever seen Dean Pease? Have you ever if you pay attention to him, and if you watch film of him in practice whatsoever, this dude, look, he got all the respect of his former players because he's detail oriented and he's on you at all times, but he's loving you afterwards. It's about business with him. It ain't about, look, I hate to say it. I hate to say this. No, I don't hate to say this because it needs to go anyway. It ain't gonna be all this brotherhood, kissy whatsoever, blah blah blah. Let's go play football. Let's go play football, doggone it. It's all about the brotherhood. Let me do this. Okay, let's get rid of the brotherhood. Let's go a different direction. Let's go a different direction. Let's get rid of Rise Up. Let's get rid of brotherhood.
That's what it is.
It's time.
It's for the new era. We just need to get everything changed. Yeah, I agree.
Time to move on. It's time to move on. Hey, you got to put old things behind us and move into the new. So let's go to work.
Oh my God. He did not just say that.
And like I said, Dean Pease is going to really this defense is going to play a lot better. They're going to be sound, and they're going to play with an edge. Because what I really feel is that they're gonna play fast and they're gonna be smart and they're gonna be resilient. I like this hire as Dean Pease as their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean it's time for a facelift though. We should have waited on them jerseys. We should have just new coaches, new everything, just did everything brand new. Start all the way over because it's dead. It's definitely dead.
Yeah, it's time for some new mantras. We got to do something different.
I'm just tired of the soft. I'm just like this team is just soft, man. I'm just saying like that the coaching staff just created an environment with just a bunch of soft guys, man. Right. We got a couple of dogs in there. I'm not saying everyone, like we got dogs on the team. Like they definitely got some Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, Julio Jones, like those. Matt Ryan, those guys are some dogs, but when you create a culture, and the culture is about the scheme, it's about your mentality, how you're going to go out each day. Like you're not going to fear. This is what we're going to do when it's 4th and 1. We don't believe in passing the ball and getting it 5 wide receivers. We're going to get in a bunch formation. We're going to run this thing down your throat. Right. That's what we need. The mentality. Get rid of that crappy brotherhood. Because we already said it. Those guys do not believe in each other because they really believe they really was brothers. They wouldn't be quiet on the sideline when they see Dirk Cutter call a dumb play and nobody says anything. That brotherhood crap gotta go.
Listen, man, I love everybody to death. I love my teammates. They know I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I believe that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. They know all that. They know how I am. But when it's time to go to practice and when it's game time, it's a whole different.
That's right. You go on to work.
It's a whole different world. Look, Peter loved Jesus to death. When they went to go get him in the garden, he jumped up when that guard put his hand on Jesus and Peter jumped up and cut his ear off.
Right.
He's still a disciple.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm saying that to the point of there's sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone and make other people uncomfortable. And I think over the last few years, we did not do that. And at the end of the day, I think we talked about this before. If you don't have no real dogs in them meeting rooms, if you don't have that dude that's go out to set the example and hold people accountable, you can't be successful. Hey, man, we held each other accountable. I remember in games where if Chris threw me a ball and I dropped it, I run up to him and said, my bad, I owe you one. And then the next one come, I'm trying to break my neck catching that ball for him. And then if he throws a ball to my feet or over my head, he'll come put his arm around, I owe you one. And he'd make darn well the next time we get out there, he's going to get me that ball. Ray Buchanan, he gets beat. He comes to the sideline. I said, hey, man, you can't do that, bro. You messing with my money. That means if when you keep doing that, we ain't getting to the playoffs. We all going to get fired. And we held each other accountable in practice. And we would get in each other's face, but it was all love. Today, these guys can't do that because they'll take it from the field to the locker room to the parking lot,
social media.
Restaurant. They don't know how to just to hold people accountable with love and then leave it where it is. And it's just a different player today, man. It's just a different player because, when a coach yelled at you back in the day, he yelled at you because you did something wrong, and that was it. It was no. You felt bad, you was embarrassed whatsoever, But at the end of the day, you do have to let that grown man know that I am a grown man too. And, I've done that before to Dan Reeves. He yelled at me and I walked up to him and said, hey, man, you don't talk to me like that. I'm a grown man just like you. I said, you want me to respect you? You're going to respect me too. But I'm going to play my butt off for you because I respect you and I love you. And then he's going to come back and say, I'm going to call a good game and make sure you're being successful because I respect you and love you. And that's what it comes down to right there. If you don't love everybody or respect everybody in your locker room, and if you don't feel like you would run through a wall for them, something's wrong. Something's wrong. You only have this much time. Dude, think about it. It's almost like when you're born and when you die, and you have that little dash in between. That's how much time you have in football. That little bit of time. And so why would you waste your 6 to 8 years on being passive and not being the best that you can be at what you do? I don't get it. I don't get
Absolutely.
it. I don't get it.
The accountability. Everybody need to, it should be a competition again, because it's like, shoot, it got to be the next man up. Because like Julio Jones, we don't know if he's going to be in full capacity when we come back right about now. So and
at the end of the day, he's that lead dog, and nobody's gonna get in his face and hold him accountable, and he knows that. But he got to hold other people accountable. At the end of the day, it is what it is. He's that dude, and what you gonna say to that dude who's a future Hall of Famer? Hey man, you ain't. Why you not playing? You're not playing hard enough. Why you not in on red zone? What you gonna say to him? Me? If I'm his coach, dude. I might get fired at the first week.
But you're right though. You gotta hold each other accountable.
But I have
everybody
utmost respect for Julio Jones. I know where he came from, and I know what he's doing, and I know where he's going. But I'm just not, me as just a fan of his, is not satisfied. I want more, and I know he has more, and I know he can do more, and I know he knows he can do more, and he wants more for himself. So I'm not saying something that he doesn't already know. God dog, man. Imagine if he played, this year, imagine if he played 17 games and all 4 quarters in 17 games. He probably have 2,100 yards and 20 plus touchdowns.
I'm glad you said that because I got a question for that. Because this is something that I don't understand, and maybe you can help me understand this. I don't know whether or not this is something that was planned by the offensive coaches to just like it seems like every time like it was every game you see it. Julio, he catches a big pass and he goes out. Like, is that something that the coaches kind of put together as far as like a routine for Julio to kind of preserve him?
I don't think that, and I'm gonna answer your question and Slim Kid 730 question at the same time. Julio is not in full capacity. Julio has been hurt for the last 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
When I say hurt, he can still play at a level, but sometimes it aggravates him enough where he's injured. Yes. So his hurt is most receivers 90%. You see what I'm saying? Right. So when he goes and grab a long ball, it may aggravate the hamstring, it may aggravate the ankle, it may aggravate the toe, or whatever it is going on during that period of hurt. So he has to come off the field and regroup. And I get that, and I understand that. And then you got to think about this: when you have a hamstring, an ankle, or a toe, you're not practicing as much, and you're not getting as much conditioning that you can get. So he's going to have to come out and get some air at the same time. So Julio, I just the thing is, you look at what he's done right now. He's the best in the game. Hands down.
Injured or not, this man still is top.
When he's on the field, defense coordinators, they shaking in their boots. And if I'm a corner, I'm shaking too. Look, if I'm a corner, I'm looking, going, bring the help. Come on. Yep. What else?
Yeah, I get it.
Said trailer. Who said Trey Lance or Fields? Oh, we already kind of went back to quarterback.
We're not answering that. Oh, we're not answering the whole quarterback coach. We're not answering that. No.
I think right now, there's not much more to say about that number 4 pick. I think right now, here's the needs the Falcons are looking for in the draft. They need another offensive lineman or 2. They're probably looking for safety. Probably looking for a running back. And then that's 4 picks right there. So now you're looking for the best fits. And usually the best fits from there on out is defensive line, offensive line, and secondary. And that's the way that's the way the draft is gonna go. They'll probably go offense, defense, and then after that, I got to plug in where it's being needed at: linebacker, defensive line, offensive line, and cornerback and safety.
Myron Jackson said, "We run the ball as we should. Then passing yards from Julio should be less, and we can keep him healthy."
Yeah, that makes sense. But Julio ain't going for that.
No. He wants the ball every time.
And I get it, Myron, what you say. And it does make sense because at the end of the day, if he's being targeted, say 10 to 12 times and he's catching 7 to 9 passes a game, that's a healthy Julio. But if he's being targeted 15, 18, 19 times a game and he's catching, maybe 10 to 11 of those, that's more punishment on his body. You see what I'm saying? And I think the less targets he has, long as they throwing him productive passes where he plays. I'm not talking about throwing him deep balls all the time, because we know if you throw Julio a slant, a hitch, or whatever it is, he's going to make somebody miss, stiff arm him, and may go the distance. So me as a coordinator, I'm gonna pick and choose when I want to send him deep, or where I want to send him when I say deep routes, 15 and beyond, because we know that if we stretch him out a little bit, we may aggravate a hamstring whatsoever. So because at the end of the day, once he comes off the ball, his first 3 steps, that corner is turning and running right now. So might as well throw intermediate routes, 10, 12-yard routes, and let him catch it and turn up, stiff arm somebody and get what he can get.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Blackheart with the $5. And we talked about Pitts, but I see you are a team Pitts, so I know we don't need another weapon, but Pitts isn't just a weapon we can use now. He can also be a successor to Julio later. So another Pitts fan. Appreciate your $5.
I agree. I mean, when I first seen him play at Florida, I was like, is this a wide receiver? Then when they said tight end, I said, oh my goodness, he's a nightmare waiting to happen.
Someone said we're overthinking the fourth pick.
On the same field at the same time. Picture just he and Julio. That's just nasty, just to have those guys, because Julio, it's odd the way Julio is built, because Julio's built, his game is more like a tight end, but he's a wide receiver. Right. Like Julio runs over. I've seen him stiff arm linebackers, and linebackers try to tackle him, and he linebackers like twice his size bounce off of him like it's nothing. So just to have he and Pitts on the same time, like that's oh my God, that right there is that's a nightmare.
Dre said we overthinking the fourth pick. I'm not even overthinking. I'm just giving you the scenarios that could happen. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't care, because we do. But at the end of the day, whatever they do, even if in my mind I want this guy and they don't pick him, I can't go, oh, I'm no more Atlanta Falcon fan. I'm gonna go, okay, let's ride, let's go with this. Okay, it makes sense. Let's go. I'm gonna do that, but this fourth pick ain't gonna make or break us. It ain't.
Right.
I see somebody went back to some history right here. Let's go. It said my biggest memory. This is from Jordan Yates. Memory from my first game in Atlanta was Mr. Mathis snatching one in the corner of the end zone I was sitting in. Oh, you attended that game. Always one of my top 5 Falcons. He and Sean Jefferson were nasty. Okay.
Whoa, we got Sean Jefferson. He brought up Sean. Oh man,
way back. Sean was a really good teammate. He was one of those guys who could stretch the defense for me, so I could catch some of those stuff underneath and make plays. Andre Rison was that dude what I played with. I learned a lot from him, especially his style of dress, the way he practiced, the things that he did. I even did the little Andre duck walk when I scored the first time in Atlanta.
I remember it.
Yeah. Then Bert Emanuel was rookie that year and he played well. Then you had Eric Metcalf come in. This guy was so good.
All right. I love Metcalf.
True story. Eric Metcalf used to wear gym shoes in practice and never slipped on the field. Never failed.
Gym shoes?
Wow. I don't think on grass and never failed in practice. And we go, funny story. I go, man, how you do that? Why you never slipped the ball? He said, because my feet never touched the ground.
Oh.
That's smooth. I said, that's smooth right there. I said, oh, yeah. I like that. And then Tony Martin came in, which was, the relationship we had was second to none, man. I played with a lot of guys, great guys, Ricky Sanders and others, and Sean Jefferson and Chris Callaway. But Tony and I became roommates in training camp, and I got to know him. I got to know the man and know his history whatsoever. And we became really close to a point that we were like brothers. It was like we knew. It was funny because he'd come in, Tony was celebrity, Hollywood, this and that, Ferraris, all that stuff. And this was the time he was dating Lisa Ray. And he came in. He came in on Sunday morning. I'm getting my stuff together, and his locker was next to mine. And he scooted his chair over. He says, "Hey, man, you're gonna have to hold us down until I wake up. I was up all night. Okay, that's fine. So we get out there and we're playing, and I'm going to work. He running over there and he looking down at the DBs and was like, he gonna kill you all day. He gonna kill you all day. And then when he done, I'm gonna kill you. I was like, oh, this dude was cold, man. He did some things, man, that if y'all didn't,
he was. Oh, I remember.
Tony Martin with Nino Brown of the NFL. He had, and I'm not saying like drug dealer, but
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
That when he said, it was funny. We was playing in the NFC Championship game, and one of the DBs, ball was thrown, and DB was running with him, and it was thrown over his head. And so the DB was talking trash to him all the way back to the huddle, and I'm walking too, all the way back to the huddle. Tony said, "Hey man, you know where I'm from. You better shut up." This dude and walked away. I said, that's not. I don't know who that is.
Oh man.
Hey man, dude, I'm telling you, I keep telling you, you gotta have them dogs on your team, man. You know, you don't know who that dog is.
Never knew that about him.
The fans don't know, but us players, we know who they are.
Right.
And we know who we gonna ride with.
And Blackheart with another $5 super chat. Appreciate you, sir. I mean, even if we don't have a confident run game, how many people do you have to dedicate in the backfield to Pitts, Ridley, and Jones?
Ooh. What do you mean? We don't have confidence. Oh, we're gonna have confidence in the run game because we got Mike Davis that we acquired from free agency from Carolina. Mm-hmm. He's coming home. The last DeKalb County dude that came home to play was
right. We haven't had that. Hey man, a lot of people don't know where you coach. Tell the people where you coach.
I went to Redan High School in Stone Mountain, baby. Come on. Hey, I'm homebred. Now. I'm homebred. I started out at Southwest DeKalb, and then we moved to the different region, and I finished at Redan High School. So I'm from right here.
See? That's what I'm saying. We're going to be tailgating together one of these days, Terance. I'm telling you. The COVID stuff go. We're going to be at the tailgating together. Watch that.
Yeah, I won't. Look, I ain't going in the game, but I come tailgate with you.
Hey, me, you know what? I don't even know if I want to go in the game. The tailgating, the culture for that was awesome. Then
it's hard for me to watch a game in person, because I'm not watching it as a fan. I'm watching it as a coach and a player. So I'm looking at something totally different than what maybe most people are looking at. I'm watching the game, and I remember I was at one game. It was the Rams game a couple of years ago, and Gurley was with the Rams at the time. And I said, I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh my God, they about to gash us. And the person I was, what do you mean? How did you know? I said, they about to gash us. They gave the ball to Gurley. I said they were out. They were not lined up properly. You can see those things. So, that's not enjoyable. I want to go to the game and be a fan. So that's why I watch that. I watch it in the biggest suite ever, and that's my house. That's
how I feel. I like to hear the commentary, all of that. I like to hear all of that.
I got to get up and walk out the room and change channels if I don't like it. If I'm at the game, I can't change the game. I can't turn to a different field if I'm at the game.
You're right, because them Falcons, man. Because our post game shows be probably the most, because they probably tuned the TV off looking for us. We do post game show. That'd be our highest rated show right there, because everybody be frustrated at the end of the day. So you want to be at home for that type of thing, not in the stadium sometimes.
But at the end of the day, it's okay to be frustrated with your team, because at the end of the day, it's about pride. It's about bragging rights. It's about being able to poke your chest out when you go places. When you go to New Orleans, you want to be able to say, we got you twice.
Yeah.
When you go to Charlotte, you want to be able to say, we got you twice. When you go to Tampa on vacation, you want your Falcons hat on and your stuff and all that stuff. And you want to be able to say, oh, yeah, we do big, bad Tom Brady. You want to be able to do those things. But when you're not doing those things, and wherever you go, y'all that team that gave up that lost in the fourth quarter and
28-3. 28-3. How many times we gotta hear that?
Y'all lost to the Patriots and y'all were up and this and so you want to get that taste out your mouth. And fans, that's what they want right now. And I understand the infatuation with this fourth pick because we're trying to get that taste out of our mouth. We want to be able to say, aha, we got a dude that's about to turn it around. And I get that. And I understand. And that's, and that's the tough decisions this Falcons organization is going to have to make.
Jordan Yates want to take it back again. I love to hear him tell a story about Tim Dwight's speed surprising somebody. I know he has a few. You have a couple of stories you want to share?
Tim Dwight, oh my God, that dude.
Tim Dwight, we called him White Lightning. This dude, when he came to camp, I've seen him at Iowa. I've seen the game and play. I knew he can return punts and kickoffs whatsoever. But man, we go into special teams practice and we do kickoff returns, and he'd catch that thing. He used to back up and wait, and then catch it on a run going forward. So he's already going. So by the time he hit the hole, man, if you weren't broke down, he was out of there. And once he gets past you weren't gonna catch him. You were not gonna catch him. And we used to stand up on kickoff returns because we didn't know we knew offensively we were gonna have good field position. Only way we weren't gonna get good field position if he caught it and downed it in the end zone. But we knew we were gonna start at the 35 or whatever. We knew it because he was that good.
Let's see. Well, it looks like we're running out of questions for the most part. And then look, we're going on an hour and 30. I don't know how much longer you got with us today. Definitely want to check in with you. How much longer you got?
I got
a few more minutes.
I give you 3 more minutes.
All right. Okay. Let's see. What you got, Mike?
Kind of expand on that. Like, did you say you were you kind of return punts at one point? Or you like which returners? Like, we had guys like Allen Bronson, we had Tim Dwight, Devin Hester, Deion Sanders. Like, which ones, if you've seen these guys, like, which ones did you would say that like were the best?
Oh my God! Of course, Deion was the best at doing it. I like Devin Hester. Brian Mitchell played for the Redskins.
Brian Mitchell, right?
Shoot, I can't think of his name. Played with the Eagles. Receiver. They just let him go. Let him go. I can't think of his name. He used to make mistakes too and just pick it up and go. I can't think of his name. But anyway, you always, I came out of school as a returner, so I was always intrigued with return game whatsoever. I only had one in my career for a touchdown. That was punt return in 98-yard punt with Deshaun Jackson. There you go, Fred.
Hey, Deshaun.
There you go.
I forget that name.
You was on it. You was on it, baby. There you go.
That dude was fast as crap.
So, I used to love watching the return game because that opens up, that changes the game, man. Think about the momentum. The momentum. You just scored and you up and you high-fiving on the sideline and you kick off and you going, oh my God, no, he's not.
He had to leave.
Yeah. That's the way it was. So, man, this game of football has been wonderful for me. It's given me a platform to do some of the things that I'm doing now. It gave asthmatic kid from a single parent home an opportunity to go on and take care of his family, to put two sisters through school, pay for weddings. Got two kids in school now. It's been good to me. And the thing is that I have nothing ever to say bad about about my time in the NFL, because it was a privilege and it was an honor. And I remember the times me sitting on the sideline on a knee on game day and watching the game and couldn't believe that I was on the same field with these future Hall of Famers. Right. Starting with LT, Lawrence Taylor, to Joe Montana, to Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, so on and so on, Tim Brown, Barry Sanders. Oh my God, Barry Sanders, man.
Something else, boy.
In person is incredible. I understand this. I was on the same field with Walter Payton and all those guys. Man, God, come on, man. That's a dream come true.
Right.
Got a chance to meet, some of your childhood favorites like John Stallworth, Lynn Swan, Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw, and Drew Pearson and Tony Dorsett and all those. So, I've been really blessed to play a kids game and still be a fan of it at the same time. And I just think about it, bro. And I'm gonna say something, y'all gonna be like, oh no. Before, I remember in 1992, I think it was, O.J. Simpson walked through the locker room with the New York Jets.
I love O.J. O.J. is
saying, and I was like, oh my God. That was my first poster as a kid, was O.J. Simpson, because I wanted to be O.J. Simpson. And then
I love O.J.
Later on, I got an opportunity to meet another childhood hero, was Doug Williams. And Doug Williams are good friends today. And you look back and you go, oh my God. I used to wear a white T-shirt and put number 12 on it and Williams on the back and be out playing quarterback. And now this is one of my friends. You see what I'm saying? So
it builds relationships. That's one thing. Even after football, it builds long life relationships with a lot of these players.
It builds relationships, and then it's funny because when we get together at celebrity golf tournaments or events whatsoever, it's the greatest time, man. It's the greatest time because the stories we tell and just the family that we have, the bond that we have, and you play against a guy that try to take your head off for 13 years, and then you hugging each other,
you hugging each other,
whatsoever. So, God, yeah. I remember that. I'm gonna set you up with that. This is a cool story. This is a cool story. We're playing the 49ers and kept coming off the field, and I'm going, God, no. I'm gonna get the ball sooner or later. So I get to a point and I'm sitting on the bench and I'm mad. And my teammates found out why I'm mad. I haven't had a play called for me. I haven't had a ball thrown to me the whole game. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, so Art Shell came up to me. Hall of Famer Art Shell came up to me and says, hey man, you need to go tell the head coach to get you the ball. You deserve that. You earned that right. I said, Coach, I'm fine. I'm good. So I jumped off the bench and stood on the sideline and I'm watching. So Cornelius Bennett comes over to me and says, hey, man, and he put his arm around me. He said, you going to catch the ball to win the game. I said, man, this is the fourth quarter. I ain't got a ball thrown to me the whole game. I said, man, whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay, right. So we get into the fourth quarter with about two minutes and some change left in the game. And we get the ball. They punt to us and we need to run the clock out to win the football game. At the time, I think we was up by 4 points or something like that. So it was 3rd and 10, and we call a timeout. I'm going to go through this whole game. I ain't never been through a game and never had a play called or ball thrown to me before. So Chris Chandler comes to the huddle and said, it's coming to you. I'm like, yeah, right. No, the play is coming to you. I'm throwing you the ball, whatever it is. So he called the play, and I remember it was like 84 speed out or something like that. And so I line up. I go to the left. I jog out the huddle, and I line up. And I was like, okay, he's off. I said, oh, this is my favorite route. This is my favorite route. So then as I turned, he came up in my face, and he was in front. I said, oh, my God. So I'm looking at Chris looking at me. So Chris is staring at me. And I'm going, stop. I'm looking like, stop staring at me. Stop staring at me. So instead of running a 10-yard out, when it becomes bump, you run a fade route.
Right.
So I said, okay. So I made a move, and I got around him. I looked up, the ball was in the air, and I slowed down a little bit. He tripped over my foot and fell. And I caught it. It went 79 yards untouched. That was the only catch in the game. The only catch in the game. And I got it in. Did the Morgan Bird. and I came to you would have thought it was the last play of the game, and I just won it. When I came to the sideline, my teammates mobbed me. And I understood right then and there the respect that they had for me. And they were so happy for me that I caught a pass in the game, and it was a big play. And then Cornelius was like, I told you. I said, yeah, you told me.
I think it was that sounds familiar. I think they like a cut.
Yeah,
like it was like a cut. It was auto. I remember audio or something like that. He was on the sideline saying that.
Yep, they play that a lot.
Oh man, gosh.
And shout out Mark Godby for the $4.99 super chat. And question for Terance. And I think we're gonna probably wrap it up right here after this one. But please, your thoughts from your professional transition from the Jets to the ATL. Did the Jets give up on you?
You know what? This is another one. So my 4 years in the Jets prepared me my 5th year in the league with the Falcons. I took every day like I was going to play on Sunday. I practiced like I was a starter. And then my 4th year, I got kind of militant. I was so mad that I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to play. I used to go to practice with black armbands on, black on, had a black towel on, and I used to this is no joke. I used to ride to practice every day, listen to Public Enemy. Public Enemy and Ice Cube. Every day.
I mean, in business.
So I get to practice, and I'm balling. I remember this year, James Hasty and he was playing corner. We going one-on-one. Dude, every time he held me, I held him, and we was on the ground just tussling. I said, I ain't taking no more mess. So I became a free agent, and I wanted to sign back with the Falcons. Now, they had fired Bruce Coslet and named Pete Carroll the head coach. So Pete Carroll decided, well, we can do without. We're not going to sign him back. We're going to sign Art Monk from the Redskins. And so my transition from the Jets to Atlanta was easy because I was ready to play. I had been mentored by Ronnie Lott that whole year to become a professional. So because he played with us at the Jets that year. And I became a professional and knew my business, and I took care of business. So when it was time for me to play, I was ready because I prepared myself. And then it was funny because then Pete he went to New England, and he left there and became the defense coordinator in San Francisco. And this is the first time we go to San Francisco, and this is the first time I've seen Pete since New York days. So I'll go up to Pete before the game, and he hugs me. He's, T-Man, how you doing? You having a great career here in Atlanta, blah, 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 blah. No, I said, I'm going to kick your ass today, right? He looked at me. I said, I owe it to you because you didn't sign me back. And I started laughing. And I told him, I said, every time I play against you, I'm going to get you. And guess what? Every time I played against a Pete Carroll team, I got him. And I reminded him every time. I said, this is what you missed out on, bro. So, my time in the NFL, man, was wonderful. Met some great people, great coaches, still got some great friends. I'm still a fan of the game, whatsoever. So, and I'm still, believe it or not, even my personal feelings about the Falcons has nothing to do with its players or its fans. I love the players, I love the fans. It's just that, other entities and I don't see eye to eye.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
And on that note, we want to let everybody know where to find you as well. If y'all see the banner going across, Atlanta Sports Unlimited, and whatever else you want to plug as well, Mr. Mathis, even though we're probably going to have you back again. But I'm dropping the link in the comment to people that wants to go ahead and give them a subscribe.
You know what? I'm a quiet person. This is, when we're talking sports and we're talking something that I'm passionate about, I'm more outgoing. But, at the end of the day, you can find me, like you said, Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Go ahead and just, find me there. I'm on Twitter. You find me there. I got 2 handles. You can find me. Trust me, you'll find me. But at the same time, be very kind, or
yes,
you would get
don't
the gas.
come in there. You gonna get the Mathis. So
you do not want me on this kind of forum blasting you. No, but I'm you know what? I love it. I can take whatever, because at the end of the day, your opinion is your opinion. What you think is what you think. What I think of myself is my issue. If you say something derogatory towards me, is how I take it determines my reaction or not, or how I feel about myself. And I always, one of my favorite sayings is, what a man thinketh in his heart is what he is. And the thing is that I know who I am. I know who I am right here. So what you say about me, what you think about me, is your opinion. But what I know of me, that's all that matters.
Yeah. That's all that matters. Be true to yourself. Exactly. Definitely. That's what we love about you. That's why we want you back over and over again, because you speak it like it is, and that's what sometimes we don't like that,
Hey,
political stuff.
What do I have? I mean, I have nothing to gain from this. I have nothing to lose from this. This is just us talking. We having a conversation. And the thing is that I've always said this: if I ever have a platform to speak about what I have passionate about, what I'm passionate about, I don't want you to leave me or turn me off and then turn on ESPN and hear the same thing. Because I want you to get
Thank you.
I want you to get the perspective of a former guy who's been in the locker room, who's been on the practice field, who's been in the game room, who's been in the training room, who's been, who's been in restaurants, who's been in clubs, who's been in front of fans, who've done those things. I want you to hear from that perspective. And I want you to hear from a real perspective, because at the same time, I'm not, I make mistakes. I can't predict the future, but I'm telling you what I think and what I feel. And then sometimes I tell you what I wish to happen. And if it doesn't happen that way, so be it. You know how many times I've had disappointments in my life? Oh, Lord, we don't have much time left for me to go over all that.
No, we got a couple more questions for you, but we might have to save this for another day, people. We appreciate you, Jamel Grant, for the $5. I'm going to shout you out anyway. But, but Terance has to get going. We definitely enjoyed his time here. Make sure y'all subscribe. I see a couple of people that said subscribe, follow him, but be nice as well.
Be nice, people.
We can agree to disagree. And if you want to know something, ask me a question. I'm going to give you a straight answer. I'm going to give you what I think. And that's all you want, right? You just want my honest opinion. And I'm going to
show up to his show. How about that? Check him out when he go live. Y'all can ask him all day long, but that's his platform. There you go.
All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you guys.
Too. Hey, thank you so much for having me on. Let's get you on my show after the draft, because we talk about a lot of stuff. So we'll bring you on after the draft, and we'll ham it up on there.
Because right now it's all speculation, but I think I agree. Now we'll know who we picked and everything, so we can kind of have a bit more meaningful conversation. Because right now it's just like, okay, what's going to happen? So let's set it up. Appreciate you, Terance.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Great people. Great.
Well, Miss Maggie, another great show. Man, it's always good to have Terance, Mr. Mathis on, man. I'll just say this over and over again. This is what we are about here at Atlanta Falcons Nation. We here, like, we want to give you guys the real. All right, you already know the facts, stacks, and the truth. That's what we all about here. So, Ms. Maggie, like, continue to support us at not only Mad Mike Sports but Atlanta Falcons Nation. We thank you for helping us get to 1,000. At this point, man, we're just trying to get to 2,000, then 3,000, then 4. All right, keep continuing to grow. So, with that, Ms. Maggie, what you got?
I mean, look, that's it. And he don't. That was the show right there. To have that legend on, to hear some past stuff as well. It's just always a great time with Terance because, that's taking me back to my memories.
Right,
I might look young, but sure, I've been watching. Sure, I ain't gonna tell you my age, but yeah. Mm-hmm. But that to me, it's like I'm a kid in the candy store. Whenever we can have former players on, I let them talk because.
Right.
That's from experience. This is what they, college and everything. This is what they eat, breathe, even after they retire.
Right.
Like he said, they get together and, click up and families get together. So it's just always like just a big thing. And I love to have them on. So we definitely try to go on Terance Mathis' show as well. Cause we got the invite. He's talking about tailgating as well. So look, AFC is getting ready to make some things happen. Trust and believe, people.
Hey, we appreciate it. That being said, you ain't got to go home.
But you got to get the hell out of here. And I had a long day anyway. My son had surgery. And of course, I came up here and still did my thing. But he's fine.
That's fine. She loves you. She loves you. All right. She loves you all. We love you all. So, man, like I said, man, we appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of the night. And again, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. All right.
And go ahead and give AFN a subscribe, people. We need to be at 2K before the draft. Before the draft.
Hey,
we trying to get. And give Miss Maggie T a plug too. Miss Maggie T over there with the Hawks News. Just go ahead and MS Maggie T for the Hawks News and Lust Exchange on Wednesdays nights. Look, I got many hats, people. So check me out on any channel. Lust Exchange, Miss Maggie T for the Hawks News. And thank you, ATM. Yeah, he's fine though. He's down there acting like his regular self right about now. He just had to have some surgery. But here I am because I love y'all so much. I'm here, so, mama got to be mama and then work got to be work. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Probably not going to hold up too much of your time. Say a prayer for K Styles as well. He has kind of been under the weather a little bit, but he'll be back, people, sooner or later, for kicking it with K Styles. But until that, just check us out. If anything breaking comes out, we'll be back again. But we out of here, people. Peace. And the ATM, I got your message. I'm going to answer you back in a little bit, okay? All right. Peace.